no time to waste. Once again, I'm Mercy Sunshine Adekune. It's a privilege meeting you again this evening. How has been our weekend? How was our Friday? How was our Saturday? Because practically Saturday is ending already. I want to believe everyone is fine. Okay, we're just going to delve right into it already. So once again, welcome to the June edition of 30 times 12 career series, which is the job search obstacles. How did I come about job search obstacles? But before we go right there, I want to reiterate that 30 times 12 is every month. It is held every month, and the idea behind 30 times 12 is 30 minutes for every month. Means 30 minutes in January, 30 minutes in 30 minutes section once every month. That is the 30, and the 12 signifies the months of the year. We have 12 months in a year, so that's what the 12 signifies. So basically that is the idea behind 30 times 12, because till now people keep asking me what's the mystery behind me tagging 30 times 12. I kind of explained it. It's pinned on my Instagram page. You could check that. Okay, so yeah, we have quite a lot to discuss today. We're just going to be discussing and getting right there in job search obstacles. So a lot of people have been reaching out to me that they're facing a particular challenge. They're facing this particular challenge. I'm facing this particular challenge. This is the reason why I don't know why I'm yet to get a job. Now the thing is, so many people don't actually know why they're yet to get a job. So if you're here, you're welcome, and then you can kindly share on your WhatsApp status and your IG stories. Okay, so I'm just going to be we outlined about 6 reasons why people find it difficult to get a job, or why the job search is quite difficult. I'm just going to be outlining that, and we're going to be discussing that and getting that right into it. So the first thing we spoke about was a skill gap. What is a skill gap? A skill gap is basically the necessary skills required for a particular job. Now, where the gap comes in is a particular company perhaps requires a skill for a particular job. You don't have that necessary skill. You have a particular skill that is not enough for the job you're applying for. That is what a skill gap is. So I'm just going to call it, I think I wrote it down here, the disparity between employee skills and the skill demanded by an employer, or the skill demanded from a particular job. That is what a skill gap is. So the set of people that face these skill gaps are basically maybe core members, people that just graduated from the university. Those are the set of people that face skill gap because they don't have the necessary skill for a particular job. That is why we have graduate training. We have graduate training programs. We have maybe management training program. We have internship. All of those are provided so that you can get the necessary skill when you already know the kind of career line that you're headed to. All of that is for you to get the necessary skill for the job you want to, or the career line you want to later in future embark on. So I'm just going to be giving you tips on which you can overcome this obstacle. Skill gap is a huge obstacle. Myself, if I'm assuming myself to be an employee, I don't think I want to employ someone that doesn't have the necessary skill for the job that is required, because you're being paid for it. Everyone has to have that necessary skill. The skill is a necessity. That is the main thing you're going to be doing on the job. So one of the first things to do, like I wrote down here, permit me, I'm just going to be peeping into my notes from time to time, is identify the key need. Identify the needs of the role. Let's take for example that you're applying into a social media manager role. You need to identify word for word what is needed, what exactly the role that is needed for it, the things that is required to be a social media manager. The funny thing is, most people don't even know that they have certain skills already. But I know that for you to be a social media manager, at least to some extent, you have to be versed with social media in general, the TikTok, the Instagram, the Facebook. You have to be versed with it. You have to be, in a way, even if it's not in a professional way, be able to run ads. You have to be good with content creation. You have to be good with creative writing. You have to be good with all of that. I mean, if perhaps you already know how to do all of that, then you can apply for the role. That is it. And most times, people that feel they have skill gap, they don't know that they actually do. They just didn't market themselves well on their CV. That is one for skill gap. Another thing is, go for a job that requires less of what. Let me take for example, you can't be learning UI UX and you're applying for a role, or you're applying to a company that requires a UI UX designer, and they are willing to pay $500, and you don't have the necessary skills. You're just learning. Perhaps you're still interning. I don't think it's wise for you to do. One of the best things to do in such is go for lesser. It's good to go for a lesser. It's good to go for a company that perhaps is interning in UI UX. Then you gain and gather your skills and your experience well. Then you can aim higher. That is that about skill gap. I really want to stick to time today. Another obstacle that people face while searching for jobs is poor resume and cover letter. Oh my god, I'm going to stay long here. Because I retreat this if not all my webinars, every time. Know how to market yourself on your CV. I think I have to give this instance. If you're on this live and you happen to be my example, I'm sorry. That there was this particular person. I submitted a CV. There was a particular company that needed his CVs for a particular role. I'm not going to mention. And then I submitted this particular person's CV. He actually got in. They were asked to send a voice note. He got in and all, but what caught him out, I'm not too sure yet, is the fact that his details were wrong. His details were not well aligned on his CV. When I mean detail, like his basic details, like his email address and then his phone number digits, of which perhaps I think he omitted a letter, or a number rather, a figure. They tried reaching him severally and then they couldn't reach him. They had to reach out to me. I needed to send an updated CV. Though they later reached out to him, but till now we are still like, they've not even gotten back to him and all. Your CV is I'm trying to look for a perfect word. Your CV is like a mirror. Your CV is the reflection of who you are. So you have to take your time and tailor your CV to suit who you truly are. Now, I like meeting people physically, because you might get the wrong impression of someone till you get to meet the person physically. So that is what your CV is. Without them meeting you physically, let them get the impression that this is the right candidate for the role, this is the right candidate for the job. There should be something that is catchy, that really wants you to be drawn. If you understand what I mean, people need to be drawn to what this person is really doing. If I should search a CV and I'm not saying what I really want, and the soft skills of the person, the hard skills, the career objective or the career summary, if the person is not tailoring all of that to make me know that, oh, this person is up to something, even if the person does not have the right experience, which takes me back to the right skills or experience, which takes me back to skill gap, write it there in your career summary. If you are just setting out as a graduate, write it out there in your career summary. Tailor your cover letter. Your cover letter now, when employer sees your CV, they see the professional thing. Anyone can decide to use the big grammars and then the big words for their CV, but your cover letter should portray who you truly are. I'm not saying you should blackmail any employer emotionally, but you need to be able to prove to recruiters and employers that this is me and I can really do this thing, if you are not proving that, there is no reason why they will want to further with your application. All of that can hinder your job search. So the thing now is not that you're not finding the right job. Have you ever asked yourself if perhaps your CV is not tailored for the right job? Another thing or another mistake people make, which is like an obstacle, is submitting the same CV for every job. I keep saying this things, but it feels like there's no changes and I don't know why. You can't submit. I think I got a CV about 2 days ago. I needed one of my clients needed a content creator for a real estate firm, and the first thing I saw when I opened the CV was a biochemist, like an hardworking biochemist, etc., and I was like, I needed to chat her. I was pulled off immediately because that was the beginning. That was the first thing I saw, biochemist. I needed to chat the person up and said, I'm in need of a content creator, not a biochemist. Not someone. It's okay to study biochemistry, but that is not what I need at the moment. So you can't put a biochemist on your CV. It makes me wonder, does this person really know what he or she is doing? Okay, then I decided to give the person another chance, right? That, okay, let me see your portfolio, let me see what you can do. This person needs a content creator, so I need to see if you are good with creating content. She sent me a link to content that she made with her friends, TikTok, Snapchat, and I was like, no, this is it. Till now, I don't think I've responded. I'm that strict, sorry. But here is the thing: recruiters and employers don't have the whole time to sit down at your CV or your cover letter or your portfolio if it's anything that relates with tech. You need to be able to prove to them that you can do this. Imagine seeing someone, another thing, I don't know if it's a millennial thing, but I mean, we are growing, right? This is the Gen Z era, if I'm right. Another thing that I feel easily pulls employers or HR personnel or recruiter off is you putting your picture on your CV. Please, can we stop? I don't need your picture. I think it would be better if you put the link to your LinkedIn or your IG page, depending on the kind of job you're applying for. I don't need your picture. I just need you to do the job. I need someone that can do the job. So poor resume and cover letter, they are a very huge obstacle. If you don't know how to put that first, trust me, I ain't getting no job. There's no job anyway. Only if you want to like do, let me use informal work, quick job, like menial jobs, sincerely. Even I was surprised that youth corpers are even coming up with building nice CVs, and I'm like, so if a youth corps member or an IT personnel like CWES are doing all of this, what's stopping people that are finished and graduated and already working to update their CV? I think I submitted another person's CV for a managerial role that was like 6 figures, and before submitting, I was checking our CVs and I was like, please, can you revamp your CV? This CV is not good. She was like, that's how she has been submitting her CVs. In my mind, I was like, that's why you've not been able to get the better job, because the CV was not well aligned. Yes, first she sent it in a Word file. Don't even try sending your CV with Word. Please, can you just use the PDF file? Like, if I'm to confess, I had like 50 CVs to go through, and I was supposed to submit 20 to a particular employer who was in need of a business manager. I needed to look for ways which I can shortlist the CVs as soon as possible before even interviewing them. One of the first things I did to cut them down, well, trust me, I got the CVs from LinkedIn, right, was to take any Word file. I took all the Word files, I took them out. Why? Because that when you click PDF file, you click and it just comes up. But when you click Word file, it redirects you again, and because you can edit, you can do a lot of things. Why send a Word file to a recruiter, for crying out loud? This is one major obstacle. I feel it needs to change. Only if you know you're serious with your job search, you're serious with the career thing, This poor resume and cover letter thing cannot be re-emphasized more than this. It needs to stop. See for thanks. So okay, I think I already used like 10 minutes talking about CVs, and that's because, no, for real, that's the first impression employers get. That's the first impression. Your CV is the first impression employers get, and then you have to make a very good impression before finally they even get to interview you physically. Make a very good impression, right? Experience discrimination, that is the third obstacle of job search. Now, this experience discrimination thing, I've once been in that situation. I know it can be a tussle to look for a job, a particular job in the field that you really want, and then they're asking for way too long experience. I know it can be a tussle. When I started looking for jobs, I was always very angry. I wanted to do a particular thing, and they're asking for 6 years experience, they're asking for 5 years experience, they're asking for, way too. And I'm like, how am I supposed to gain this experience when I'm just starting? I was confused, but now I get the drill. The first way to overcome this, let me speak to, if perhaps you're on this live or you get to watch this video later on and you're still in school. I think I said this one of my last webinar. Okay, no. I think I said this one of my webinars. I think that should be March edition, the one with Olamide Oladele. So if you're watching this live maybe later on and you're still in school, trust me, your SciWest, which is your IT, that thing you do like for 6 months to a year, get a very good company to do your SciWest. I wish I knew this earlier. It would have added to my CV. Get a very nice school to do your SciWest. Your NYSC, this is another platform for you to gain experience. That is for a year. Instead of wasting your time in a school teaching, only if you know that is the line you're going to. Instead of wasting your time in all these government offices doing nothing, getting food for them, please get a very good company. Get a very good company that you can have your NYSC 1 year placement, your PPA. Get a very good company that you can learn, because now there are so much opportunities. After your NYSC, get a company which you can intern for another year, perhaps a graduate trainee. If you're lucky, management trainee. Banks do all of that. If you want to go to the banking sector is not even hard. Apply for a graduate trainee or a management trainee. Apply for that. That's another year. If you should calculate all of this cumulatively, it's giving you like 3 years already. You have 3 years experience. So immediately after your school, it's more like you have 2 years, and then you're doing 1 year placement of interning. That is 3 years. That is how you calculate all these years. So don't see a job and you're just like, oh, I don't have the number of years. What were you doing during your SciWest years? What were you doing during your NYSC years? What were you doing? What did you do immediately after school, after NYSC? You need to gather all this knowledge together to create your experience. And if you happen to be someone that didn't gain the right experience at the right time, means during your SciWest years you didn't do anything, and during your NYSC years you didn't do anything, then scout for a company to intern, and do not expect a supposedly great salary or remuneration rather. Get a company to intern. Interning gives you the experience. Trust me, I think English stage room was not built in a day. So don't think that you're just going to sit there and then anybody, a recruiter or an employer, will entrust you with a particular role without the right experience. Another thing I feel we fail to understand is the fact that no company is ready to start training you on the job. That is why we have bank sectors. We give rooms for graduate training. If you watch for graduate training, for management training, or for interning roles in that line, they teach them on how to go about it. So you do not expect a bank manager without 5 years or more experience, because the person must have learned 1 or 2 before getting to that role. That is what all of that affords you to do. So Do not take all those years for granted. The SciWest time, the SciWest, that's called IT, yeah, the NYSC, and then immediately after your NYSC. Do not take all of that for granted. That is what builds your experience. And like I said, if you perhaps didn't have the adequate experience for all of that, then get a company which you can intern, perhaps after your masters or before your masters. So get that. Another thing is your career transition changes. This is huge because I think I faced this, and I know it's really hard to switch careers. It can be very, very hard to switch careers. I've been in that shoes. But one of the things, it's would I call it a huge obstacle? It depends. I know that most people face the fact that they didn't know earlier what they really want. I found myself in that situation. I didn't really know what I really wanted early, so I just wanted basically anything. I was just anywhere. I think I started, my first job was a social media manager. Okay, no, my IT was marketing executive, and then I think I taught my NYSC teacher. And then my first job after school, I was a social media manager, and then from there customer representative, manager, and then from there business developer, and then from there relationship manager, and then from there another marketing executive. Just going on and on. I really didn't know what I wanted until I figured, oh Sunshine, this is what you really wanted, and I entered the HR line and I knew, oh, this is what I actually really wanted, and I started getting trainings and certifications, and then here I am. So I can understand that it might not be easy. Maybe you didn't have the opportunity for someone to train you on what you really want, like the career line you really wanted to go or you want to go into. It might be difficult, but later when you now find out that this is what you want, the transitioning and the switch might be a tussle. It can be difficult. It can be hard. How do you go about it? One of the ways you go about it is get certifications, and at times it might be difficult that you might have to start all over again. My light just went off. Okay, you might have to start all over again from scratch, interning for companies, interning on the particular role that you're searching for. So that can actually be quite difficult and very, very difficult. But you might have to take it a short. You might just have to take a shot on that. But one of the best things to do is to get your certification. Get certification in the field, and if it's a field that you know that getting a certification is quite hard, then you might have to intern. Intern in certain places. Build yourself up on LinkedIn, right? Go to LinkedIn, message people up. I got a youth corper for my company from LinkedIn, because the person messaged me and said, oh, this is what I can do, this is what I can do. I didn't respond immediately, but when we were looking for a role, that field, he came, and then I interviewed him, and then it was good. So message people up, this is what I can do, this is what I can do, can you help with this, can I intern in this? And then you'll be surprised that people are looking for the hardworking and willing people that they even want to train and pay lesser. When you get your experience, you can even request for a salary review, and up and up and up and up that goes. So career transitioning can be quite hard, but you need to get to know what you really want. Don't transition in a career into another career because of the money. Please don't. That is a very bad thing. Why? At the long run, you find it boring and unfulfilled, because there's always something that keeps you exciting when you're doing the right thing. At times, I get very tired at work because I have to do this, I have to do that. But I don't know, in a way, I just motivate myself because I know this is my field and this is what I love to do. But if you are not doing something you love to do, like a particular career line that doesn't interest you, along the line you get tired and bored of it. Trust me. So don't transition into another career because of the money. That would be a very wrong motive, if you ask me. And I understand that it can be it can be quite difficult. Yeah, another thing I failed to mention is get the proper mentorship or training for the new career you want to transition into. That helps. If you're transitioning into a new career, I did that. You can chat up someone that you know is already into that line and ask for like a guide to help you. Okay, you can chat them up on LinkedIn. It can be someone you know eventually. All you need to do is to reach out to the person. The person can, in a way, train you to become who you're supposed to be in that career, to at least help you with the foundational things or foundational knowledge for you to know in the particular career. And lastly, technology barrier. We're going to be talking about technology barrier. Technology barrier is another obstacle of job search, and this part, I don't think there is any solution other than you improving on yourself. I don't think there's any solution other than you improving on yourself. You need to improve on yourself. You need to improve on your skills. I imagine someone that wants to go into the technology line telling me that it doesn't know certain things going on in the technology world now. I'm just going to be like, do you know what you're doing at all? Yeah, I'm going to definitely ask that. So the technology advancement, the technology, I don't think is a barrier, but it's something we need to talk about because it can be an obstacle. You need to improve yourself more. We are advancing. The world is advancing. You need to advance. That is, I mean, if not for this technology, I won't be live. I know so many of you are even different places in Lagos or maybe even outside Lagos listening to me now. If not for this technology advancement, we won't be able to communicate with this live session and all. It's technology advancement. So I feel every candidate or everyone looking out for a job out there, you need to advance yourself technology wise. Technology should not even be an obstacle. If only when you are not making your own progress in it, you are not trying to improve on yourself. So I don't think that should even be an obstacle to start with. It has to be a personal decision. You have to improve. Like, that's just it. There's no gainsaying about that. You have to improve. You have to elevate yourself, elevate your skills and all of that. You just need to do that. So I think we have successfully been able to touch all of these barriers. We spoke about the skill gap. We spoke about poor resume and cover letter. We spoke about the experience discrimination. The last one we spoke about is the technology barrier. We also spoke about, I think I'm missing two out. We spoke about, the career transition. We spoke about the career transition changes. Yeah, there are 5. Okay, so all of that. What do we think I'm missing out? Is there any other barrier you think you're facing that maybe I've not touched, maybe today or earlier in my webinar, like the webinar before now? If there are any, because of our time, you could send them on this live. If I'm able to see them, I could talk about them. And if you can't, maybe if you're viewing this video later or in the future, you could send me an email or you could send me a DM on my IG, and then we could treat it on any other live session where we have to talk about job search obstacles. So to end this, I'm just going to say that you need to really know what you want. Nobody's going to even if you're privileged to have someone to push you, right? Nobody can be you. You really need to know what you want. It's good to have a mentor. It's good to have someone that guides you. I wish I had that earlier. Perhaps I'll have gotten to know the things that I'm knowing now. So in as much as it's good to have a mentor, you can't be someone else. There is that uniqueness that everyone has, and it's that uniqueness that truly defines you. So in your job search, I don't want to say obstacle, I want to say strategy. In your job search, make sure you strategize well. And I think we're not making good use of a particular platform, that is LinkedIn. You can actually get good jobs there. So I was chatting with someone that really wanted to be a virtual assistant, and I told her something earlier today, that you can chat randomly, just send a message. You can do that. Don't undermine that particular app and stop buying away time on IG and all of that. But LinkedIn is a very good platform for people searching for jobs because it gives you everything you want in a word. So do not underrate that particular platform. Okay. Lastly, I'm still going to go back on our resume. Please don't pray that you meet an HR personnel like me, because trust me, I'm very strict with resumes. You can't give me a very poor resume and I'm expecting a good job from you. When people give me a poor resume, my mindset about it is I'm definitely expecting a poor job from this person. So however, work on your resume, pay a token. If you don't want to pay, you can do it yourself. We were in an advanced age now. We have all this AI thing. You could fabricate something. But yeah, I think I forgot to mention the fact that you shouldn't lie on your resume. If you've been lying on your resume before now, don't pray to meet someone like me in a job, because along the line, when we find out that you are lying, that is the end. Don't lie on your resume. It doesn't portray integrity and dignity. Don't lie on your resume. Don't put the number of years of experience you don't have. Don't do that. Accumulate. You can give all the count of all the experiences you have, but don't use the wrong things. Don't use the wrong figures. Don't do that. Don't put what you can't do. Don't do that. That is not a good thing. And I feel if you don't have the necessary skills, going back to skill gap now, if you don't have the necessary skill for a particular job, write it in your cover letter. Be sincere. Might not be a particular employer. Another employer will definitely see it and love your sincerity and employ you. Lastly, I wanted to add something. Gosh, I forgot right now. I forgot, I guess. Okay, I think that would be all. If I remember, I would have said it. I wanted to add something just now and then it skipped my mind. Anyways, that'll be all for our live session today. Thank you so much for joining 30 times 12 June edition, job search obstacles. So watch out for our July edition. Like I said again, 30 times 12 is 30 minutes every month. So 30 minutes every month. That is the 30 minutes, and the 12 represents 12 months in a year. So thank you so much. Please, if you have any question, any concerns pertaining your careers, trust me, I'm always willing to help. You can always reach out to me. Thank you. Bye.